Hello guys, it is July 1st, Friday here for the MLB PrizePicks slate. Today we got 15 games, some in the morning, but we do have some good props. Feeling pretty good about some of these. Now, two of them have moved, and by the time you see this video, some of these probably are going to move too. But I did post them on Twitter, so that's definitely where you want to make sure to follow at, because as soon as this video goes out, these plays they move, especially pitching. Just really fast with how MLB goes for PrizePicks. So starting off with strikeouts, Jose Berrios 4.5. I'm taking the over here against Tampa. Tampa, they just have been striking out a lot more this season. Looking at righties away for Tampa this year, they came at 25.7%, which is fourth most in the league. And Berrios, he hasn't been obviously the best pitcher this year because he struggled, no doubt. You look at his numbers, this is not the Berrios that we know. There's definitely something wrong with him. Maybe it's like tipping pitches or something, but his K rate, this is not going to stay here. This is just not something that you really see in a pitcher. You take a look at some of these numbers, like the spin rate, it's pretty similar. And usually, unless it's like something due to the spin, like if he just lost a ton of spin or something like that, then that's why they do lose out on their K percentage. Like the whiff rates, looking at the curve, it's still high up there, put away, a bit lower, stuff like that, but it just shouldn't result in this much of a drop off. Berrios also going to be pitching at home, where he has been a lot better this season. And Tampa, of course, they're away from the Trop. They usually don't play as well. And the game logs, if that's something that you are interested in, he still had some really high K games. And it's just really a result of like this bad outing against the Brewers when he was away. Brewers a good offense, but because of short outing, he only got one strikeout. Things like that. The White Sox, they're not a high strikeout team. That it seems like his K rate is kind of just dropped down. But I just think that he's going to be a lot higher than this number indicates. And this is a very good matchup with Tampa. They also do whiff at a high rate. Berrios, the one thing that he has pretty good chase rate. The chase rate for Tampa, it is pretty high up there. I think it's 7th. And so you look at Berrios, it matches up. He's got a good chase rate, 4.5. I think this might move at 5. So there's another prop that I would think is interesting if Berrios does move to 5. Pitches throws at 86.5. This is a very volatile category, but if he's pitching well, he usually will go even sometimes over 100. So unless he's just tipping the pitches or giving it up again, I think he definitely will go over this number. Max Fried, he's already moved. 6.5. Took the under on here against the Reds just because of the ballpark, the weather, and since they don't strike out a ton, they're just a really good hitting team when it comes to facing lefties at home. For pitcher fantasy score, Josiah Gray 30.5 over for this one. I like it. 5.5 for the strikeouts, but I prefer the fantasy score because Jazz Chisholm, he's out and he's a pretty high K guy. So that actually kind of sucks for the Ks there. But it helps fantasy score a ton because Gray, he struggles against lefties. And this team in Miami, they're going to have a ton of righties. Projected lineup to have 8 out of 9 righties. And then looking at Josiah Gray, his numbers, yeah, he struggles against lefties, but look at the righties. He is a lot better against them. He's also going to be pitching at home. And looking at Miami, their offense, they are a lot worse when they're on the road. Here with Miami, they rank 15th in K rate, but their WRC plus 92. And it's still not awful, but overall, this is a big drop off for when they're at home. You look at Miami, when they're playing at home, they actually rank first in WRC plus. Now, obviously, you have to take out Jazz Chisholm, so these numbers are going to drop off. And great, he's just going to be pitching at home. Seems like he should be in the line for a win. The Nationals do play well against lefties when they're at home, taking on Trevor Rogers. So I think a win is definitely possible, a quality start. So those are going to be a possible 10 points for Gray. So I think this one is a very good over. Corbin Burns, 43.5, taking the over on this one as well. He doesn't have significant home road splits. Pittsburgh, they have some guys called up like O'Neal Cruz who should help us out a bit. Brian Reynolds is swinging a really hot bat, but This is a pitcher's ballpark in Pittsburgh. Burns, he's one of the best pitchers in the league. Very high K rate team in Pittsburgh. And quality start, usually always going to be in play. Win with that Brewers offense behind him. Seems like Burns can get it done here, even at what looks to be a pretty high line. But for him, I think it's definitely still pretty solid for the over. And an under is already moved. Glenn Otto, he was at 20.5. The Mets, they're back at home against righties. They're really good. So this was a lock at 20.5. I'm just going to stay away from it at 18.5. I usually don't play lines when they get moved. For hits and walks, I got one here. But keep an eye on if Jesse Winker is a DMP, because J.P. Crawford he started serving his suspension on Thursday. So there's a chance Winker, Julio Rodriguez could also start pretty soon tonight. So we have to monitor if Winker's going to play. But if he does, I like the over for this one. He walks at a really high rate. They're taking on James Caprillion. His numbers just are not good, especially against lefties. And Winker, of course, going to be hitting from his getting the matchup against the side that he is going to be stronger at. Caprillion, a high walk rate, 16 percentile only. Doesn't K guys. Winker doesn't strike out a ton anyway, but 99 percentile walks. So that's huge. And Winker, he started off the season a little bit slow, I would say, but he's still getting unlucky. His expected numbers, he's flew out a ton to the warning track. So just some of these things, it looks like he's going to start trending upwards. So that's why I do like this one for the over. And then runs and RBIs, another one that could be DNP is Jeremy Pena. He collided with Yordan Alvarez in the outfield on Wednesday, and I think he had a concussion. So unless he clears it, this is going to be a DNP for sure. But I like it if he does play, so that's why I still put it in my entries. If he doesn't play, then it's still a DNP, or it's going to be a DNP, meaning a refund. Or if you're playing more than 2 picks, it just bumps to the lower leg 3, turns into 2 picks. So I'm totally fine getting a refund that way. So I'm playing it as is, as long as he's hitting in the 2-hole, because I don't want him if he's batting lower. I want him when he's sitting behind Altuve, and then he has Bregman and Kyle Tucker behind him that can drive him in. So that's why I like it. Michael Lorenzen, someone that has shown some struggles on the road. So that's why I do like this. Angels bullpen really not been the best. They also do have some suspensions in Ryan Tepera and Raisel Iglesias. And the one play that I do like for runs and RBIs a good bit, I would say, Cesar Hernandez, 0.5, the over on this against Trevor Rogers. He hits better, at least for average, against lefties. And he will bat second usually against lefties. And he has Lane Thomas batting leadoff. Yeah. And Hernandez batting second, honestly, it's pretty good, because if you have Thomas getting on base, that allows Hernandez to possibly have an RBI opportunity. And then, of course, Juan Soto, he can hit lefties. And Nelson Cruz, Josh Bell, these guys are the best hitters on the team. So hitting behind Cesar Hernandez, who does get on base a good bit, I do like that. And the winds, 10 miles blowing out, 91 degrees. Now, obviously, I could say that this isn't good for Gray, but the matchup, though, for how dominant Gray is against righties, that's why I'm taking the over. Just feel the line for him is under, too low. But I like Hernandez in this spot. So favorite play, I would say, well, it's Glenn Otto's under, but because that's moved, probably going to be Josiah Gray and Cesar Hernandez. I know you can't play those together, though. So I would just go ahead and say it's Burns, just the ace. Go with the guy that we should be able to trust. But yeah, that's the video. Keeping it a little bit tighter today. Just these are the props that I do have some pretty high confidence in. Total basis, if Paul Goldschmidt gets it, I'm taking the over on that one. I know he didn't pan out last time, but it's too good of a spot. Going up against a lefty once again. And this time, hopefully he doesn't get walked. And also he's on the road this time for the Cardinals. So hopefully that makes him get at least an additional at-bat when they do have to bat in the 9th. And then some guys that are in good stolen base spots, or just pitchers that do allow stolen bases. That's Lance Lynn, Antonio Senzatella, but Elias Diaz is okay with his pop time catching base stealers. Glenn Otto, James Caprillion, but Sean Murphy is one of the better catchers at limiting stolen bases, and then Alex Cobb. But the thing about them, anyone against those pitchers, is that their fantasy point projection is already set pretty high, or those teams, they just don't really steal bases. So that's why I don't have any fantasy score projections, plays that I like out of those that I'm targeting because of stolen bases. And I don't want to force anything, obviously, just based off of the ability to steal a base. So that's it for the video for today, guys. Good luck on the slate. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.